Hello again. I've remarked before that while it might possibly be true that our current dismal situation in Britain regarding immigration from Africa and Asia might be seen as payback for our imperial past, the same certainly cannot be said of countries such as Ireland and Sweden. Sweden is now gripped by a dreadful crisis, with shootings and rioting becoming everyday occurrences in the formerly notably peaceful country. These are a direct consequence of immigration to a country which was previously entirely homogeneous as far as ethnicity goes. For reasons into which we need not go, Sweden believed that they had a moral duty to take in firstly thousands of Albanians and more recently many people, mostly young men, from Africa and the Middle East. The result has been an epidemic of murder by shooting and explosion, and also an extraordinary increase in the number of rapes in the country. Figures show that the majority of both crimes are committed by those whose ancestry lies outside Scandinavia. Bomb attacks have become a feature of life in Swedish cities along with the shootings, with grenades being used by gangsters in fighting against rival gangs. None of those involved are ethnically Swedish. The recent election there is interesting because of the swing to the so-called right, with the most striking thing being the rise of the Sweden Democrats, described as being a far-right party with neo-Nazi origins. Of course, commentators in this country like the BBC would regard the Sweden Democrats as being neo-Nazis. Their slogan when they began in the late 1980s was "Keep Sweden Swedish." Can you imagine anything more shocking to liberal sensibilities? The rise of the Sweden Democrats is mirrored by the growth of similar parties in other European countries. It's far easier for such parties to flourish in countries where there is proportional representation, because once they reach a certain percentage of the votes cast, they are guaranteed seats in Parliament. So it was that when the Sweden Democrats took over 5% of the vote in 2010 in the elections, they automatically gained 20 seats in the Swedish Parliament. They've since gone from strength to strength and may well have a key role in the new Swedish government. The case is very different under the British system, and it is this which has prevented anti-immigration parties from getting a foothold in Parliament here. In 1974, the National Front enjoyed a similar success to that of the Sweden Democrats in 2010. That year, they too gained 5% of the votes cast in one of the general elections in 1974. But under the first past the post system, this meant they didn't win a single seat. Had we had proportional representation at that time, then the National Front would in 1974 have gained 30 seats in Parliament. It is this which ensures that no anti-immigration party in Britain is ever likely to get anywhere.